This is 44C. Note number 2, Northern humanists, who are also called Christian humanists, studied the classics like their Italian counterparts, but they incorporated more elements of Christianity in their studies. And this reminds me also of St. Patrick of Ireland from the 400s and 500s and what the Irish would do. Number 3, the Northern humanists blended classical ideas of calmness and stoical patience with the Christian ideals of piety, humility, and love, and that this is virtue. A quote from Erasmus: "It is an unscrupulous intellect that does not pay to antiquity its due reverence." Basically, learn, use the minds that God has given us. Love the Lord your God with all your mind. Number 4, 1478 to 1535, Sir Thomas More of England argued that the reform of social institutions could reduce or eliminate corruption and war. So you could say that he moved in the name of Christ for social justice. And a quote from Sir Thomas More: "What you cannot turn to good, you must at least make as little bad as you can." And then here we have Erasmus, who we'll talk about several times in world history. From 1466 to 1536, he lived and wrote, and he's known as the Prince of the Humanists. He is the most famous Northern humanist. And a quote from him: "In the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king." It's a little bit esoteric. He also said, if you keep thinking about what you want to do or what you hope will happen, you don't do it and it won't happen. Seems like you could put that on a poster. Number 6, Erasmus wrote The Praise of Folly, mocking the immorality and the hypocrisy of church leaders and uneducated Christians. He says Christians should be educated, should go after learning. Previously in the 400s and 500s AD, St. Patrick of Ireland would agree. Number 7, Erasmus remained a devout Catholic, committed to reforming the church, not destroying it. Number 8, non-Italian artists. This is kind of a different topic, but non-Italian artists came to rival the Italian Renaissance painters. So this would be in Germany and the Netherlands, France, England, Denmark. One such painter, Jan van Eyck from the Netherlands, pioneered oil painting. This is Jan van Eyck's self-portrait, him painting himself, as artists often did. If you don't think the artists in the Renaissance were stuck up, then how do you answer how many times they painted and drew themselves, you know? But this is one of his very famous paintings, The Wedding of Arnulfi by Jan van Eyck. Famous. You've got the mirror there so you can see everything. It just keeps receding into the background. Very fascinating painting. You've got their pet. There's his signature. Got To the Glory of God there. There's that mirror where you can see the back of the couple and also the painter. Really nice hidden elements. Also did the Ghent altarpiece. Jan van Eyck did the Ghent altarpiece. If you got to see the movie The Monuments Men, this is one of the pieces that the soldiers were trying to save. And the Ghent altarpiece and The Monuments Men is based a lot on research. So most likely during World War II, the Nazis took this away from the Netherlands and it was returned. So you can see some detail work on the Ghent altarpiece, quite thoughtfully done to be, as it says, a painting and a mural behind an altar in a church. And then this is another painter. This is Albrecht Durer from Germany. And this is a combination here, a study that he did that he never sold, that was a self-portrait. This is what he looked like. But it also, for some people, bears resemblance to Christ, and something he was studying his own face for this scene of the crucifixion that he drew, that he did in ink. And there's a lot of theological, metaphorical levels of that. He was a devout Christian his whole life. So the idea was he claiming that he was God is unlikely when you study his other writings and other work. So perhaps he's thinking about how we are supposed to show Christ in our lives. You could think about it as a Renaissance version of What Would Jesus Do bracelet. Like, we are supposed to be the representatives of Christ and live like him on earth so that more people will get to know his love for them. Note number 10 to write down is that Albrecht Dürer was the first Northern artist to fully embrace Italian innovations. And he said, "We shall all gladly learn, for the more we know, so much more do we resemble the likeness of God, who verily knoweth all things.